Is there a moment that really feels like that was the toughest pressure I've ever had to deal with, and I came through it?
Something that really stands out to me would be when I did my first professional fight in Thailand. So I was sitting in this restaurant in Thailand after several months of training up for this fight, right? And as I sit at the restaurant eating my last meal before I go and do this fight, I look at these posters that have all been handed out around the restaurant. And on the poster was a big picture of me and a big picture of this Thai fighter. And it looks like I'm the main event, but there's got to be a mistake with that because it's my first fight. Why would I be the main event? And it's during the Queen's birthday in Thailand. So it's this massive event in Thailand. And so I grabbed this poster and I speak to one of the other local Thai guys and I'm like, this is me, who am I against? And they found it quite funny. And then they looked at me and they realized, this is actually quite serious. The guy you're against is a veteran fighter with over 40 fights. And so, I realized kind of in that moment, I'd been set up to lose. So in Thailand, what they often do is actually fix fights so that people lose. They'll put a really experienced person against a beginner so that they can put them in a situation where they can bet on the winner who they know is going to win and they make lots of money. There's a lot of gambling in Thailand. So I'd been set up to lose this fight. And I could just, I can feel, even now kind of talking about it, I can feel, the same feelings of, being set up to lose is a horrible feeling. And knowing, it's a bit like going to the guillotine, knowing you have no choice. So I jumped on my motorbike and I went down to my mentor, Ped, who been training me up for this fight 8 hours every day, living and breathing Thai boxing with me. A trainer is very much involved with the fight. They are so attached to the win and lose of this and the emotional side of building up for that just as much as the fighter. And so I knock on his door, push open the door, and he's there lying on a mattress on the floor with a fan on him and his son and his wife as well. And he comes to the door and he looks at me and he realizes, that I'm fighting in an hour and I'm mentally not ready. And, I show him the poster. And he then realizes in that moment that I'd been set up to lose. And he didn't directly say that to me, but I could see it. I could see his face drop, right? And so I'm looking at my trainer, I'm thinking, I've been set up to lose. And all I want to do is escape. So I'm just thinking, here's the pressure. I want to escape. What can I do to get out of this? Can he make a phone call and change the fighter? What can he do? And, can I just cancel? Yes. And so, what he did, and he absolutely nailed it as a mentor, right? He looked at me in the eyes. He put his hand out on my heart, on my chest here, and you could feel my heart rate just going through the roof. And he said to me, he looked at me in the eyes and he said to me, not matter, you fight you. And I realized right up until that point, there had been no fighter that I was against. I didn't know who the other person was. They could be having hundreds of, professional fights. It didn't matter. No one was forcing me to be in that ring every single day, 8 hours every single day. The diet, the training, the sacrifice, everything. Every time I was training, it was just me against me anyway. So this was no different. And what was really cool about it was everyone there was expecting me to lose. So I kind of approached that pressure as actually just turning up. I've kind of done a good job, right? And then I jumped on the back of a motorbike with him. We went down to the arena, jumped in the ring, tapped gloves with this guy, this faceless fighter. I didn't care who he was. I was kind of filled with courage at that point. And I think when you're filled with courage and you watch yourself do it, almost kind of third person, watching yourself do something that 2 minutes ago, even though you're in the moment, you're still feeling that fear. It starts to build confidence. And there's almost this question, right, of what if I could actually do this? What if I could win this? And so I'm fighting this guy, and my whole strategy was low kicks. So if I can get him with low kicks, he was renowned for, getting in close contact, elbows, knees, this sort of stuff, all close range strikes. So I wanted to keep a distance, do low kicks to his legs, which worked. 3 or 4 kicks in, I could see he was starting to feel it. But then he blocked one of my kicks perfectly. And it tore one of the muscles in my my right calf. And so now I was limping, I was in the 3rd round, and I could see Ped in the distance over there, and he was trying to show me to use a punch. And so that's sort of I switched to punching, even though I realized that I had to then step in even further. So I think the pressure of building up to that fight, being set up to lose, getting injured during the fight, even though I felt like I had taken on as much pressure as I could, and then making the decision to go even further when I couldn't do more, just thinking to myself, if I just go for it, just go for it, just 1 minute more. And then I knocked the guy out in the third round, and you know, I'd won the match. And it was I had to leave very quickly because a lot of the gamblers are very upset, right?
Yeah, I bet.
It's packed out stadium. But for me, it was understanding, you know, how noticing yourself when you go through something of high pressure, noticing how your body reacts, and just observing. Because often what happens is people feel this, it's crippling, and they stop. But instead, observing how your body's reacting, and when I talk about base jumping and stuff, there is a physical reaction. Like you stand on the edge of a cliff when you base jump, and you're watching your legs shake, right? You're literally, your body's shaking like this. And you're just observing the pressure taking its effect on your body and just noticing it. And it's there to keep you alive, right? So I just kind of, when I'm in that position, I just kind of thank my body for being there to support me, but being a bit like, I got this now. I'll take over from here. Slow down my breathing. And then now I'm in control. Bang, ready to go.